Okay, that should be going now. Okay, so I'm going to take us into the assignments folder over here on the left. And go down to critical analysis 1 and 2. Just thinking I might want to take you somewhere else. I'm debating. Okay, so first off, let's look at just the assignment details, okay? Just so that's like fresh in your brain. The whole idea of this is that you're going to, you needed to find a source, okay, that related to your final essay. So whatever the topic of your final essay is, you had to, so if your topic was gun control, then you needed to find either a debate, editorial, a website, or a newspaper ad that had to deal with gun control. Okay, so whatever your topic was. And the goal was to really critically analyze whatever source you found. So even if it was a picture that was in a newspaper, you needed to pick it apart, basically. You wanted to look at the author's choices, basically through all of the criteria we have listed below. Look at, was there ethos, pathos, logos? Did they use induction or deduction? Were there some fallacies in there? Remember the huge list of fallacies that we've kind of just really basically touched on that are listed in your textbook. Did they use reason? Did they use evidence? Did it seem like a credible source, or was there like really some obvious bias in it? So yeah, you had to pick it apart, okay? And let us know if the author did use any of the list that I just read through. Tell us if you thought they were using it effectively. So if I'm trying to remember, a few years back, a student found an ad. It was for gun control, and I believe it showed like two little kids playing, and they had like semi-automatic weapons, and we're talking about like toddlers. And I can't remember what the headline was, but it basically was saying, if you think guns are so safe, would you trust them in a child's hands? Or, I don't know. So it was trying to use really pull on the emotion there. And honestly, the image was it was pretty effective. It may have been, a really big leap there, but it definitely caught your attention. So wanting to pick it apart, okay? Strengths and weaknesses, logic, style, tone, even like the writing, did they write like a third grader? Pick it apart, do that. You were supposed to remain academic because this is a professional type essay. We wanted you to use sentences not like, I like this, they did a good job. We want you to be specific, okay? We want you to give us the reasoning why you were thinking those things. Use quotes, use examples. If you did use an image, describe the image to us, things like that. And notice the highlighted issue or area part of the assignment here. Remember, you are looking at the way the text is written, almost as a scientist would look at a plant or insect. You must examine it objectively, without regard to or debate about the argument issue. So again, gun control, you are picking apart the source. You would not be giving us your thoughts and opinions about gun control, but just how this source either argues for or against gun control, and how did they do it? Did they do it effectively? Okay. So I want you guys to take this opportunity, use the chat box. Let me know, do you have questions on any of this? Did you struggle finding the source? Did you struggle trying to figure out how to set it up? Let me know. What are you guys thinking? Unless you guys have it all figured out, which is great. Okay. Let's see. Good, 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 good. All right. So here is what I want to show you guys. I'm going to take us into the discussion board, okay? So I need you to actually pause. Let's go over really quickly just this sample of critical analysis number 1. And remember, all the examples that we have for you guys, they're student examples, so they're not perfect. Now, this student example is in APA format. It is, I will warn you that it's not the APA 7, because APA 7 just came out last October. So, I mean, you can look at the date there on the documents from the 18th. So it doesn't have some of those, the things that we've talked about, you know, the omitting the running head and all of that. So let's just take a look at this. So they're talking about a source from New York Times Magazine called Against Headphones. Okay. They do a good job introducing what the issue is. Okay. So today there are a multitude of ways for people to both voice their opinion and then try to persuade others of their opinion. Radio, television, and social media are among some of those most popular outlets of persuasion now. So easy for big companies to put advertisements out for their products or voice their opinions on big issues. It appears in this cyber age that we as a generation have forgotten the basic alternatives to these, such as debates, newspaper ads, and editorials. More often than not, these alternatives prove to be more reliable sources of information. With that being said, so basically what this student did was kind of introduce what this essay is about, okay? And then they go on to say, you know, I found a source from New York Times. This is the name of the source, okay? And they have a thesis statement. Okay, academic, yes. I will accept first person because this is your critical analysis of this source. So don't feel like you have to be stuck in third person, okay? First person is okay. So this is their thesis statement. The article I chose to analyze is entitled Against Headphones because it was well written with solid data. I agree with its premises, but it did show some bias, which I would expect from this medium. Okay, that's their thesis. Then our author goes and looks at a couple of things. You know, they really break down the title, they break down the message. They talk about the article is biased. It's well written, but it's biased. So you can kind of see the things that they pull out. Even give some examples of like portraying negative tone towards devices. So it gives an example right there. Notice they remembered, to put an in-text citation because they're quoting the article. And so, yeah, that's just kind of how they went through. They picked out a few things and then they expanded on them. All right. So yeah, so keep in mind, like I said, this is an APA format. It's APA 6 format, not in APA 7. And so then, of course, at the very end, they had their references page. For doing MLA, we have our works cited page, right? And then we have to have that source in there. Okay. Let me, make sure. Okay, take us back into Blackboard. Now let's go to the discussion board. All right. Now, yours will not have all of the extra things that I have in mine. I'm in my teacher view right now. So there is a discussion board specifically for this critical analysis one. Oops, what is it telling me? Yes, I do want to move it up there. Here's what I want you guys to do. Like I said, there's just a few of you who have the draft ready, but I want everyone to participate in a peer review. So even if let's say you have one paragraph written for your critical analysis. I still want you to post that one paragraph. You would be surprised what your fellow classmates can do to help you out just with that one paragraph, okay? If you do not have a draft, I still want you to participate in this discussion board. The instructions are simple. Post your rough draft. Is there anybody, use the chat box, anybody in this class who has never ever used the discussion board in Blackboard? Please let me know that if you've never used it. Okay. So the idea here is you're going to post your draft. Then you're going to go and you want to look at two classmates' draft. Okay. Thinking of the assignment details we just went through. Okay. So it can be in first person if we need it to be in first person. Try to look for a thesis statement or a statement somewhere in the beginning that tells us what this paper is going to be about. And just look on what they can expand on. One of the reasons that peer review is great for this draft is because, you know, writing a 2-page analysis of one source can be kind of difficult. So if you are stuck, you've only been able to write one paragraph and you're like, what else can I pick to talk about? How else can I expand it? That's what your classmates' eyes are for, okay? So go and read a classmate's draft and offer 2 positives and 2 things they can improve on. So maybe one of my positives could be, hey, your formatting is excellent, great job. And I really liked your thesis statement. 2 things they could improve on. I liked your thesis statement, but I'm wondering if you could make it a little bit more specific about what's going to be covered in your paper. And maybe another thing they could improve on, I would really like to see an example from the source, you know, to kind of explain what you're talking about here. So does that make sense? Let me know if you guys have questions over what I'm asking you to do. Okay. So this is how it's going to work. Since we are virtual, and, you know, face to face, we would just hand each other papers and it would be good, but we're virtual. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on the discussion board. Oh, look at Alexis is like way ahead of here, isn't she? Okay. So you're going to post just like Alexis did here. And, oh no, you're good. You're good. Don't apologize for that. So like I said, there may only be 3 drafts on the discussion board, but I expect everybody here in class to look at least 2 of those 3 drafts, okay? So the individuals who have a draft are just going to get the benefit of a lot of feedback to help them develop their paper, okay? What I'm going to do is, you know, we'll give everybody a couple minutes to get their drafts up on the discussion board. And I'm going to give you guys we'll work for 25 minutes on the discussion board, and I will be taking part of the discussion board as well. So, but in 25 minutes, I'm going to turn my mic back on and check in with everybody and see how they're doing and see how much more time we need for you guys to be able to get to 2 drafts. Okay, does that make sense? Any questions? So I'm going to be turning my mic and my camera off so I can go ahead and take part of the discussion board, but I will literally be right here by my computer. So if you guys have questions, you can send me some private chats or, you know, whatever we need to do. So go ahead, take the next couple minutes, get some drafts uploaded onto this discussion board so we all have things to look at, okay? So get those uploaded. I will check in at, let's see here, at 9:45. I think I calculated that correctly. At 9:45, I'll turn my mic back on and see where everybody is at, okay? So 2 drafts. We want you to look at 2 of your classmates' drafts, 2 positives, 2 things they could improve on. All right? Okay, go get those uploaded, and we will touch base in just a little bit. All right. Well, if you guys don't have any questions, you did a great job with the discussion board. Thank you for helping each other out. It's as many pair of eyes as possible is always best, okay? So critical analysis, your final draft is due tonight by 11:59 p.m., midnight. And you also have your annotated bibliography entries, number 3 and 4, are due at midnight tonight. So let's really quickly go into Blackboard. All right. And just really wanted to touch on a couple of things here with the annotated bibliography. So I'm going to go into the assignments folder again. To me, that's just the easiest way to flip back and forth. And let's go to our annotated bibliography. All right. So the whole idea of the annotated bibliography is that you are finding sources that you can apply to your persuasive research essay. Okay. Don't panic if you do an annotation for a source and as you go to write your paper, you're like, oh, you know what? I can't really use this. That's okay. Don't worry about it. Do you guys remember the minimum amount of sources that you are supposed to have at the end here? Once you get all of your annotated bibliographies in, how many sources should you have at the bare minimum? Do you guys remember? Okay, yep, 10. How many do you have to have if you want to get that A? 12, okay? So just kind of keep that in mind. Really quickly, just from, looking through some and grading and doing things of that nature, in your summary paragraphs, you guys really should mention the author or at least the title, okay? Let me look here really quickly. Okay. I need to make sure that I said that right. In the summary paragraph, you need to mention, not the author, right? I'm making sure I'm telling you this right. You need to mention the title of the piece, okay? So if my article was, I'm trying to think of one of the articles. I don't think we read the homelessness article in this. College student homelessness. Okay, if that was the article title, I would want to mention that in the summary paragraph so our reader knows what we're referring to. Then once we get to the second paragraph, we then can actually mention the author's name, how they did, things like that. You basically have to keep in mind, we haven't read the articles that you are presenting to us, most likely. I mean, I suppose we could have, but most likely we haven't. Make sure you watch your formatting. Sometimes what happens when we put in the hanging indent to the citation, it messes up the paragraphs. What it does is it lines the paragraphs way over. Wonder if I can. Let's see here. Let me see if I can open up a document and show you what accidentally happens sometimes. I'm going to open. Nope, that's not the right one. The problem is I look at way too many documents in one day, and so then when I have to go back. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull up the annotated bibliography template that I use for my English Comp 1 classes. Okay. So sometimes what happens when we get the citation in, and we go through, we get that hanging indent. Sometimes what ends up happening is, well, if I can get, no. If it would work with me so I can show you an example. So sometimes what ends up happening when you do your hanging indent, your paragraphs get messed up underneath. So all of a sudden your paragraphs are lined up with actually where the tab should be, and then your tab is way over. So when, and I know this is nitpicky, but we're talking about the proper formatting of the document. So your paragraphs need to be justified all the way to the left. Make sure that they are all the way over there where they are supposed to be, okay? Do you guys have any questions on that? Now I can't fix it. We'll just back button everything. There we go. So this is how it needs to be lined up. Has to be lined up. Have to have my citation with my hanging indent. Make sure we are completely left justified over here with just the first line tabbed over. The other thing that I want to remind you guys, for your summary paragraph and your evaluation paragraph, they need to be a good 6 to 12 sentences long. 4 sentences just really isn't enough to give me a summary of a source, and it's not enough to give a really good evaluation of a source. So you really need, I hate to give like a specific number, you know, oh, the perfect paragraph is this many sentences, but I can tell you it does need to be at least 6 sentences long to fully be a really well-rounded summary or a well-rounded evaluation. Okay. Do you guys have any questions on the annotated bibliography? Okay. So as always, make sure that first paragraph is your summary, that it's third person, needs to be objective, no opinions, anything like that. I think you guys did pretty well with that. The evaluation paragraph, you can use first person if you want. Make sure that you are analyzing, evaluating the source and not the topic. Okay. All right. I'm looking over my notes. I have notes because otherwise I don't remember anything. All right, here is what I would like to do. I am going to now take us over into our learning plans, okay? So if you guys like clicking along, let's go to learning plan 6, okay? Learning plan 6 is about conducting the research. Now, you guys have already started on research, but we are going to be doing something a little bit different with research this week in regards to your critical analysis too, okay? So let's go and scroll down to the conduct research assignment and assessments folder. So this folder basically has just a few things in it. It has a couple of links for us, and then it has the folder that links you to the assignment folder, the critical analysis 2 assignment folder. Let me take a drink really quick. Mornings are not great for my voice, sorry. Okay, so here's what I want to show you guys. The critical analysis 2, let's look at some of those details, okay? I'm going to give you guys a break in a little bit if you're kind of looking at the screen and you guys are like, oh, I want a break. We're going to get one, don't worry. So we did critical analysis 1. That one was just about a source that had to deal with your topic of your final essay. Now let's look at the specifics of your critical analysis number 2. It's a little bit different, okay? This one, it's still going to be 2 to 4 pages, but this one you're actually going to go and you're going to look at anywhere from 1 to 3 sources, your choice. So if you only want to look at one source, whatever. If you want to be able to take a couple of sources and compare and contrast them, that's a great way to get through a couple pages. But there's still potential sources that you could use in your persuasive research paper. The thing that's different about critical analysis number 2 is that you are looking at the opposite view of your persuasive research paper. Okay, so I guess I'm going to stick with gun control today. So if I, in my persuasive research paper, am trying to convince my reader that gun control is a good thing, that we need more legislation or whatever, for critical analysis number 2, I'm going to go look at sources that discuss the opposite point of view. How trying to create more gun control actually is against my civil rights, or, whatever. So you're going to go look for sources that are actually the opposing opinion to your stance in your persuasive research paper, okay? Basically, here's the deal. The goal is, because in your persuasive research paper, you really are supposed to look at both sides, okay? Even though, hey, this is my stance, this is what I believe, you still need to go, okay, this is what I believe, but this is what the other side is saying. And by doing so, what you do is you're able to say, this is what they're saying, but this is why they're wrong. Okay, it kind of gives you another way to springboard and to discuss. So you're going to go look for 1 to 3 articles, opposing viewpoint to your viewpoint, and you are going to look at the author's choices, their argument, how they established that argument, how they argued it. You're going to focus on any weaknesses or strengths in the opposing argument source. You can even look at, maybe they use a whole bunch of metaphors and the metaphors just didn't work. So you're going to tell us, why those metaphors were silly. You are going to be direct, but you're going to be professional. So you probably shouldn't have a line in your critical analysis number 2 that says, this author is full of crap. It's not quite so professional. So keep it professional, courteous, meaningful. Okay, so I like this, it's good. Again, is never very useful to anybody. Instead, state specifically what they did that was good for their argument, or state specifically what they did that really weakened their argument. Okay, so 2 to 4 pages. Your choice, MLA, APA format, I don't care. Just make sure you stick to your format, okay? Make sure you have some type of a thesis in there to kind of guide you through and guide your reader through your paper. And yeah, tell us why, just critically analyze the source or the sources, and let us know why you think what you think. Give us examples. We love examples, but just make sure if you're paraphrasing or if you are directly quoting the article or articles, you have your in-text citations. Let's take a look at the example here for critical analysis number 2. Okay, so again, this one is an APA, okay, and it's a student, so it's not a perfect document. You'll probably notice some errors, all right? All right, so critical analysis number 2. Again, because you are critically analyzing, you can write in first person. It is allowed here, okay? So this student starts off, for this critical analysis, I will be examining an article from an emergency medicine journal and how it relates to nursing staff being assaulted by patients while they are on the job. The title of the article immediately grabbed my attention while seeking opposing viewpoints on whether or not nurses who are assaulted on the job should press criminal charges against these patients and some of the barriers that nurses may encounter. Surprisingly enough, I did have some difficulty finding opposing viewpoints during my research. And so they then jump into the article title, okay? Tell us a little bit about the title, kind of, you know, how it was formatted, goes into like the mechanics of it, the text, how the text was used, how they used some bold type and how they highlighted important things. Those are things that we can mention in a critical analysis, okay? Now, for her paper, she has what I consider to be pretty much her thesis statement at the beginning. So make sure that your reader knows what we're going to be talking about this paper before you get into the meat of the paper, okay? Does anybody have any questions so far in regards to critical analysis number 2? Okay, remember at any time, you guys, take to the chat box and let me know. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go actually back into Learning Plan 6, into that Conduct Research folder. So, as I said, you notice there's 2 links in here. I'm gonna take you to this top link. So for critical analysis number 2, we need to be looking for some opposing viewpoints, right? So I'm gonna click on NWTC's website, or the website link, if you guys want to click on it as well so you can kind of follow along. Let me show you something. So that link will take you to a resource list page. And here's what's cool. So you guys need to find some articles, right? Some articles with opposing viewpoints. So let me click on Find Articles. Now, if you look down here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7 links down is something we call opposing viewpoints. So look at that. NWTC Library has your back on this one, okay? So click on opposing viewpoints. You will have to put in your ID number and your password, okay? Oh, you know what? I forgot that it always gives me a hard time because I am a staff member. Hang on, I'm gonna have to do something different here so I can get to it. It always seems to work out easier for students to get in than for me to get in. Go figure that one out, right? And it worked last night, and I don't know why it doesn't want to work for me now. Come on. Dun, 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 dun. I know what's configured for access. Okay, you know what we're going to do? While I troubleshoot this, we're going to take a break. We'll take a quick break. Here's the deal, though. I need to be able to get to my screen, so I'm not going to have my timer up on the screen. So I'm looking at the clock. It is 10:05. So at 10:20, be back here at our screen and we'll go from there. I just need to get this configured so I can walk you guys through it, okay? So at 10:20, I'm going to turn my mic back on and check in and make sure everybody's here, okay? All right, so let's take that break and then we will hopefully be able to go through all that, all right? See it. That link was broken, so I just had to go about it a different way, but now I have a correct link that will work for you. So I want to take you back into Blackboard and kind of walk through a couple things with you, okay? All right, so I changed the link, so now this link should take you right into where we want to go. Let me, and I just realized, I wonder if I took you too straight into it. Hold on. I'm second guessing because I took you straight to the opposing viewpoints And I'm wondering if I want you to be able, sorry, I was on the phone with them for a while and I was trying to hurry because they couldn't figure out why it wasn't working for them either. Okay, this is the link that actually I want to make sure that you guys have access to. So let me change that really quickly. Okay, so now that we have the correct link, when you guys are doing research for your topic, this link should take you, let's just double check it. Yay, okay. So whenever you have to write a persuasive research paper, you obviously need to find some sources, okay? If you're having a problem finding a topic, you actually can look through these right here. The opposing viewpoints, the SIRS, or the Encyclopedia Britannica. When you are struggling to actually find sources for your paper, EBSCO is like my favorite place to go to. ProQuest is another really good one. So you could go look through these databases, or you could just do a keyword search right here. Now, for critical analysis 2, like we discussed before the break, you guys need to go find 1 to 3 articles that are an opposing viewpoint to your stance on your topic. So if we click this, the opposing viewpoints in context, excuse me, you have the opportunity to search for your topic. So let's just stick with the one that I started with, okay? Okay, and so what it does is it gives us just like the brief overview here, okay? It tells us there's 18 featured viewpoints. There's like these academic journals, comments on the viewpoints, references, videos, statistics. So it has all of these things organized for you. News articles, magazines, images, even audio clips. So what it does is it gathers all of those, the 2 opposing viewpoints, and it gathers them in one place. So let's just kind of click and look at a few things. So let's just click on the viewpoint comment thing here, okay? So this is what it breaks down for us. We have 228 viewpoints on gun control. So, you know, you can kind of go through here, see if, you know, you can find something that is opposite to your view. So we have the viewpoints, we can go to news, and specifically for critical analysis 2, let's see here. We're not specifying whether it has to be a debate or a news article or an image or anything. So all we're saying is articles. So it can be a scholarly article, it could be a newspaper article, it could be a web article, you know, whatever. So that's what you can do. You can kind of just click around. There's even audio clips if you want to listen to some audio clips. Those are definitely sources that can be used in a paper. We have websites. Okay, look at all that. Okay, stop gun silent or gun violence, gun safety, courage to fight gun violence. So, you know, that might be, depending on where you're at, that could be an interesting one. So it has all these really, really cool pieces organized together for you to help you out. Even magazines. So yeah, it just has to be an article. It can be a website article. It could be a newspaper article. It could be an academic journal article. It could be a magazine article. You have options here, okay? So here is what I want you guys to do. I want you to, so I'm going to back all the way out, bring us back in, okay? I want you guys, I'm going to give you about 10 minutes to do some cruising and do some looking. So I want you to go to Learning Plan 6, scroll down to the Conduct Research folder, and then I want you guys to click on the library link. And just for this 10 minutes, I want you to actually click on that opposing viewpoints, and I want you to type in your topic and do some searching, okay? So for 10 minutes, okay? I'm gonna let you guys search around, see if you can find some, try to change some of your searching terms. Let me see here, where did that go? One thing to remember is, I'm just gonna click on this one right here. I think it was a magazine article. So just in case in your searching, you find something and you're like, ooh, that's really good. And this is taken, there we go. That's really good. That's awesome. I love it. You can download it. You can email it to yourself. You can get all of that information so you have it for later on. But the other thing that I wanted to show you, because we love to help you out. So if you like this source and you're like, this is excellent, I love this source, you can get your source citation already for you. It's right there. Or you can click on APA 7th edition. So that's a really, 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 really nice. Keep in mind that, see, like this one is just a brief article. It's really, really short. And all it is it's a National Review Incorporation. So kind of keep that in mind. Click around, look at it. If you like it, you can save this source, and you can also save the citation so you have it for future. The other thing that's really cool is if you liked the way the article was set up, there's related articles, so it can link you more. So you could like go down a labyrinth of sources. So, okay, I'm going to shut up. 10 minutes. So at 10, oh, wait. Somebody just asked a question. So let me make sure. Oh, okay. So really quickly, I'm going to take you back out and back in. Make sure that you guys know how to get there. So go to Learning Plans. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Learning Plans. Learning Plan 6. Okay. If I'm going too fast, let me know. Learning Plan 6. Scroll down to the Conduct Research folder. You open that up. Click on the very first link here, the Browse and Critically Review Articles. So click on that. For what we're doing for 10 minutes, I want you guys to click on the Opposing Viewpoints and Context. That's going to open up a whole nother page. It'll take you here. You guys can type in that box your topic, click enter, and it will load up that page like I showed you where it has it all organized. I'm just going to load that up again. Has all of the sources organized for you. So it has like an overview, and you just kind of have to scroll down a little bit, and it shows you all the different types of sources. It has some like featured viewpoints, academic journals. You can actually kind of scroll all the way down that way if you want to do it that way as well. Okay. So any questions on how to get there and what you need to do? Okay. So 10 minutes. I'm going to be here at my computer, but I'm going to turn my camera off and my mic off. But I'm going to turn my mic back on at 10:42 to check in and to see how your guys are doing. So if you get stumped along the way, any issues, take to the chat box and let me know. Okay? All right. So go do some searching till about 10:42. So yeah, maybe we should follow the if at first you don't succeed, try again type of thing. So yeah, if you were not able to find what you need through the opposing viewpoints, either change the wording for your searches, or, there's nothing that says you have to use the opposing viewpoints. I just wanted to show you how that was set up. So if you If you couldn't find anything there and you even go back after changing your wording and you still can't find anything, then either go to good old EBSCO and do some searching, or rely on our best friend Google and see if you can find some sources, okay? You do still, I realize it's the opposing viewpoint that you're trying to find for critical analysis number 2, but you still want to try to find things that are credible, because if you're writing a paper and you have all these credible sources for your stance, and then you have all these like ridiculous sources for the opposing view, it really, you want a good debate in your paper, right? You don't want it to be like a slaughter. So kind of go back, revisit, do some searches. If you're using the internet, if you're using Google, make sure that what you're finding are some good substantial sources, okay? Did you guys have any questions on any of that? Did you run into any issues with pages loading or anything? Okay. Because if you ever run into any technical issues there, let me know. When I was talking to the individual at the library, I guess they just did updates. I don't know if like the library itself did updates or what, but that's possibly why that original link was broken. Okay. So then my next question is, do you guys have any questions on critical analysis number 2? Because what I am going to want you guys to do is we meet again on the 16th. So next Friday is the 16th. I'm going to want you to have a draft of your critical analysis number 2 so we can do another peer review discussion board, okay? Keep in mind it's a draft, so like we're not expecting perfection. Don't think you have to have like this beautiful submission for the discussion board. It's a rough draft. So for next week, have a draft of critical analysis number 2, and the final draft will be due at midnight next Friday. Okay. All right. I'm like looking at some things here that I want you guys to do. I gotta load up a document for you guys. Okay. Let me share my screen back with you. So let's kind of switch gears a little bit, sort of connected here. I'm pulling up the course calendar that's in your syllabus. So you guys will notice that we're in week 11 already, which is really weird. We have 4 more classes left. And I don't tell you that to make you panic, but I'm just trying to give you a clear view of where we're at. So during this week, you guys need to be working on your critical analysis number 2. You still should kind of continually be working on your annotated bibliographies. Those entries 3 and 4 are due tonight by midnight. So you'll have 4 entries. So by April 23rd, you guys need to have, 10 to 12. So you need to do 6 or 8 more annotations by the 23rd. Now, you guys can use, the sources that you're finding for critical analysis 2, those opposing viewpoints, you can actually use those sources for your annotated bibliography. So keep that in mind. Ideally, all the sources that you have listed for your annotated bibliography would be the ones that you're using in your paper, just because that saves you research work. But do know that if you're trying to kind of work ahead or stay on task and get things done, you can use those opposing view sources and create some annotated bibliographies for those to kind of help you out, okay? So you need to be working on critical analysis number 2. You need to be continuing to work on your annotated bibliography, and you need to start drafting your persuasive research paper, okay? Because next week we're going to have a peer review of your critical analysis 2. And then the week after that, on the 23rd, we want a rough draft of your persuasive essay so we can actually do some more peer review. And we'll be working in class. So I'm going to be giving you some time today to work, and I'm going to be giving you some time next week to work on all of these different writing things that you guys have to do. I know you have a lot. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? How are you feeling knowing what we have coming up here? Have we ever, I don't know if we've done it in this class, at the bottom of your screen, I believe, there should be an option for you to give reactions. Do you guys see that there? It has like little emojis and stuff you can click. See if you can find it and give me a reaction. Oh, I'm getting some. Good. Give me a reaction. Yay, I like thumbs up. Oh, nice. I have, what is that, a horn with confetti? That's awesome. Okay. Here's the deal. You guys are perfectly capable of all this stuff, but it is work. It is work. So here is what I want you guys to do. Let me open up a new Word document here, okay? Because it's easier to type on here than the whiteboard. So I'm going to show you a journal in just a minute that I want you guys to complete before you leave class today, okay? And it's I have my computer on the stand thing, and it's like weird to reach through. Okay, persuasive. I tell you, I swear I can actually type about 65 words a minute, but I can't seem to do that when I'm in class. And making sure I get the dates here right. Okay. Okay, we'll be doing that next week. And then when did I say part of? All right. So here's the deal. This is what we are looking at right now. Okay. Your absolute final draft of your research paper is actually going to be due by class time on the 7th of May. One thing that we are going to be doing with your research paper is you are going to have just really short presentations on your paper, okay? It's really small. I don't want you guys to start freaking out about it at all. We're going to talk about it more next week, but looking ahead, know that by May 7th, you need to submit, that's when your research paper will be due, and then you will be presenting that persuasive paper to us in class. It's a lot less threatening than you think. It's a lot easier than maybe you even think. So nobody's allowed to panic, okay? We'll get more into that later. I just didn't want you to all of a sudden look in the course calendar and go, wait a second, why does it say presentation? We're going to get to that, okay? So let me show you what I was talking about with the journal entry. So learning plans, you can either go through learning plans or through the journal entries tab. So learning plan 6, our conduct research assignments. Oh wait, sorry. I'm just going to confuse you guys. Learning plan 6, all the way at the bottom, you guys see this persuasive paper check-in? If anybody doesn't see it, let me know, but it should be right there for you to see. What I am asking you guys to do, so it is about 11 o'clock. Class goes until 11:50. Here's what I want you guys to do. You have a lot of work on your hands, and I know that you guys have life outside of class. So this week and next week, I'm trying to provide you some work time. So what I am asking is, before you leave our class session, I want you to complete this journal entry. Again, it's only for my eyes. Nobody else has access to it. It's for me. But I want you to kind of tell me your thoughts on what's going on here with your persuasive paper. I want you to remind me what your topic is. I know you've told me, but please forgive me. I have a lot of students. So remind me what your topic is. Let me know, are you finding the sources you need? How are you feeling about your paper prep and your research? I want you to share your thesis statement or even your working thesis statement with me. If you don't feel like you have a thesis statement yet, which I know we've talked about and we've gone through, maybe you scrapped it, I want you to tell me at least 3 to 5 points that you're hoping to address in your paper, okay? And then just tell me anything else you want to know about the persuasive paper, how you're doing, what you're running into, okay? So I want you to do that journal, okay, which is in Learning Plan 6. I want you to do that journal. Once you have completed that journal, I am basically turning over the rest of class time for you guys to work on your critical analysis number 2. I will remind you that your annotated bibliography entries 3 and 4 are due tonight. Oops. Due tonight by midnight, right? Oh my gosh. And actually, let's do this. Let's organize this a little bit better. That's due tonight, and then also you guys are all thinking, yeah, right, like she can actually type. No, she can't. She's lying. Okay, so that's the breakdown. Before you leave our class session, please do the persuasive paper check-in that's in Learning Plan 6. I want you then to use the rest of the time to work. After you have completed that persuasive paper check-in, you are welcome to sign out of class and to work. I'm still going to be here if you guys have questions, but remember that tonight by midnight, you have those 2 more annotated bibliographies. It's entry number 3 and 4. They're due tonight. The final draft of your critical analysis, number 1, is due at midnight tonight. Please go back to the discussion board and look at your peers' feedback. Use that to help you do editing, okay? If by chance you already have submitted your critical analysis number one, and now you have feedback from the discussion board, it actually, the assignment link is open to give you more than one submission. So if you are wanting to edit, please feel free, edit your critical analysis number one, and then just submit the edited draft. What I do is then just go and look at the most recent submission, and that's the one that I grade, okay? So you have those due tonight. You need to work on that critical analysis number two, have a draft so we can do peer review again when we meet on Friday, next Friday. Please continue working on those annotated bibliographies. They are all, like all of your entries are due by the 23rd of April. And you need to start drafting your persuasive research paper because you need a rough draft for our class on the 23rd so we can do a peer review. Okay, so you have a lot to do. So please do the persuasive paper check-in. Then you may, if you choose to do so, you may leave the class session to work on this healthy list of things, healthy list of a to-do, okay? Do you guys have any questions? Any questions about what's due tonight and what's coming up? Okay, get to work. I'm right here. Let me know if you have any questions, okay? Please, please, please get that check-in done before you guys kick out of here, okay? Get that done. Yeah, and then let me know if you guys have any questions throughout next week. Have a great weekend if you can, if I don't talk to you before you sign out, okay? So I will leave you to it. Get to work.